Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I am talking about the last week of WWE shows. I'm going to go through these like real quick. I do have extensive notes for all of them, but I fell behind on stuff, lots of stuff going on this week that I didn't really feel up to recording each and every episode after each episode of stuff. So we're starting with SmackDown episode 1098 from September 4th, followed by 205 Live episode 195. And then we're going to head over to this past week's episode of Raw, which is episode number 1433 from September 7th. And then NXT episode 580 from September 8th. Super Tuesday 2. I have not watched this week's NXT UK. I think it was announced that there will be a new tournament. I already forget the name of the tournament, but it should be pretty interesting, and we're going to see that come back. Oh, what is this audition error? Okay. It was I tried to open audition twice, but we're already amidst this. We're well on the way along with this recording, so I'm not going to stop now. But really great stuff this week. I enjoyed Raw quite a bit. I enjoyed SmackDown, and I really enjoyed NXT. NXT was awesome. But so let's very quickly go through. Let's see the highlights. Roman said, "This is my island" at the top of the show, and I really liked Paul Heyman's turns of phrase, talking that the Fiend is not born to reign, the monster is not born to reign, but Roman's reign. So moving the S to make it grammatically correct into this promo is really cool. And that he is a special counsel to the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And Rowan says, "This is my island." This is great. Let's see. We had Heavy Machinery versus Ms Morrison, which Heavy Machinery won, but then Morrison stole the money of the contract briefcase. But as it turns out, the contract is kept in his little lunchbox, and that what was in the briefcase is some office supplies and his lunch. He needed a lot more room for his lunch than just in that little lunchbox. So it made a lot of sense. Big E is hyped for Xavier Woods' birthday, but then Sheamus attacks him, and Big E he gets put through windshields of a car and gets taken to the hospital. So he is out of the Fatal 4-Way to determine who will fight Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions. But who's the replacement? It was, in fact, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns' cousin, which is pretty awesome. We'll get to that in just a second. Bayley and Sasha team up to fight Shayna and Nia to try to get the tag team championships back, but they get hit with a double hook smash outside of the ring, which is pretty great. And then Nia wins the match. Shayna won the championship for them, but Nia successfully defended with a double crossbody and pin. And Sasha is very hurt after her knee was messed up during the match, and Bayley tries to help her out. She gets everybody to just let her help her get out of the ring, but then Bayley beats the crap out of Sasha, an entire segment of her destroying Sasha, and I thought that was pretty amazing. So now we have the SmackDown Women's Champion is again friendless, and her reign of terror maybe can come to an end if the rest of the locker room goes after her now that Sasha is out of the picture. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Then we had Sami Zayn. He has all kinds of issues with production, with not having the right title cards and all that kind of thing. Then Jeff Hardy comes out and he says, "Hey, if you want a match, you just have to ask Sami." He says, "No, you should have had to ask me because I am the champion. What are you talking about?" And then AJ comes out and says, "No, it's me that should be champion." Jey Uso is added to the Fatal 4-Way. We had some hot legs shown on screen, but who is it? Could it be somebody from NXT? Could it be somebody we haven't seen in a while? Could it be Carmella, Chelsea Green? maybe Vanessa Bourne, or maybe somebody else who we're not even expecting. It could even be Santina Marella, but we'll see maybe next week. So we had that Fatal 4-Way, Corbin versus Riddle versus Sheamus versus Jey Uso, and Jey Uso won the match via a big frog splash to Matt Riddle. It'll be cousin versus cousin at Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship. That's going to be so awesome. We had a very brief episode of Firefly Funhouse that next week there'll be a new member of the Firefly Funhouse, and then right after that, it's got to be Alexa. But Nikki and Alexa, they make up, but Nikki is still pretty concerned. And Ramblin' Rabbit was in the background while that happened. So yeah, I like this episode a lot. Then 205 Live, we had Arya Daivari versus Tahuti Miles. And then just a few days later, we had Adonis versus Velveteen Dream. So Tahuti, in the span of a week, changed his name. So I wrote down Tahuti Miles, and then they were calling him Adonis. And I was like, wait, what is happening here? Is there another guy with the same, who also wears overalls and looks exactly the same? Does he have a twin? No, it's the same guy. So I mean, Adonis is a great name too. It's probably a better name. But Tahuti, I like that name. It's memorable. It's different. Okay, so up next, let's talk about... Arya Daivari won that match, and then Arya joined commentary for the main event of... No, there was two more matches. Mansoor versus Carino. Something Carino. I didn't catch his first name. Mansoor won that match, of course. I like Mansoor more every time I see him compete or check out one of his streams or something. I've always just checked out him on stream a couple of times, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. Then we have Danny and Oni in our main event versus Everrise and Phantasma Attacks, aka Phantasma Attack. I think they attacked before. I'm pretty sure that Everrise lost the match and then Phantasma attacked, or maybe they attacked before the match ended and it was a disqualification. I can't remember exactly. Then over on Raw, lots of stuff happened on Raw. We opened up with I was in the Thunderdome. It was really cool. I liked it. Unfortunately, I only was in there for the first half of the show, but I did get to see main event. So I saw Mustafa Ali versus Akira Tozawa. Lots of great stuff with the ninjas there. So check out this week's episode of main event for that. And then we had Ridimo versus Humberto Carrillo, which is also very good. So go check those out. Ridimo won. Riddick Moss won that match. We open up the night with Randy Orton, annoyed about facing Keith Lee again tonight, and then Drew attacks him, of course. And then Adam Pearce, instead of worrying about retribution all night, seems to be more concerned with getting Drew to leave the building because Drew keeps forgetting his phone, or he picked up his wrong phone, all these kind of things, and he just doesn't leave the building despite having been told to many times. We have Cedric Alexander turn on Ricochet and Apollo during their 6-man tag team match. And then later on, we end up with a 8-man tag team match as Ricochet and Apollo team up with the Viking Raiders to fight against the new 4-man Hurt Business. Cedric is in. And now they have the best finisher in all of WWE, in my opinion, on their side. And all the other talents that Cedric has. Cedric is great. Angel Garza bails on Andrade during their match, and the Street Profits win. Then Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura appear, and they have a lot of respect, but they challenge them to a match, a champion versus champion match next week, and that is pretty awesome. And again, I love that Cesaro keeps working in a lot of respect and challenge, and in 3, all these references to the party over on Up Up Down Down. It's great. R-Truth gets attacked by ninjas at a restaurant, and he's upset because he didn't order a ninja. Then we had Peyton Royce versus Billy Kay, the Femme Fatale. Both of them have new music. And I think Peyton won the match. I didn't write down who won the match. That's weird. During commercial break, Aleister Black cut a promo for us in the Thunderdome. That was pretty cool. And earlier, Mickie James talked to us a little bit, and that was really fun. Buddy blames Dominic for all this stuff that happened. They wouldn't have had to do all these things if it wasn't for Dominic being so stubborn and all of that. Then we had Asuka and Mickie James team up against Natalya and Lana. There's a nice tag technique where to tag in, Mickie James just slapped Asuka on the butt, and that was pretty funny. But let's see. I think Asuka got Lana in the Asuka lock and won the match for them. And then we had the VIP lounge. Cedric inducted into the Hurt Business, and then the Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews come out, and they have a big old match. And Cedric pins Ricochet for the win. Another friendship over. And then over on the Undergrounds, we had some stuff happen. Aleister Black killed some guys, and then just to warm up to fight Kevin Owens. Randy Orton versus Keithley happened before that. Keithley countered the RKO a couple of times, but then he successfully hit the RKO. Right after that, Drew McIntyre, who kept forgetting his phone and so didn't leave the building at all, claymored Randy Orton, leading to a disqualification. Then we had Shayna Baszler versus Liv and Ruby, and Nia Jax versus Liv and Ruby. Liv won their match, and then there was no conclusion to Nia versus Liv and Ruby, and then the lights were going out because Retribution arrived, and they came on the screen. They weren't there in person; they were on screen. And they said, this Thunderdome is only a facade. It's the same old WWE as always, blah, 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 blah. You're going to feel our wrath, etc. And we're pretty sure, seems like everybody's in agreement that Mia Yim is one of the members on screen there of those 5, and that Dominik Dijakovic is as well. And then Baba Kato, or whatever his name is, Bada Gango, Bada Bing, Bada Kato, attacks Kevin Owens during their match was happening during this entire time. And then, but Kato attacks Kevin, and then he also attacks Aleister Black. Randy gets attacked again backstage, and yeah, Drew McIntyre is just on a tear against Randy Orton. Then we had our main event, Dominic versus Murphy in a street fight. All of the Mysterios were there at ringside. None of the Murphys were there at ringside because he's the only Murphy. There's oh man, Dominic is so killing it, and he has a higher percentage of hardcore like street fight type matches. I think of his 4, I think he's had 3 or 4 matches so far, and only one has been a regular wrestling match, which is pretty great. But he did an amazing penguin slide sunset powerbomb into a table that was amazing. And then they have a stick party, a kendo stick party. All 4 members of the team of the family and the team just wallop Murphy with kendo sticks at the end of the night, which was pretty maybe a bit too much, but it was really funny. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I was out of the Thunderdome after the Peyton versus Billy, I think. No, or it was after Asuka and Mickie James versus Natalya and Lana. I think that was the last thing that I saw. And then I had to wait 3 hours. I've talked about this on stream over at twitch.tv/thedemonjackal, that it's taken me no, what am I saying? That I've been using YouTube TV the last couple of weeks, and it's a lot to have to wait for the West Coast feed, and it's like really expensive when I still have to wait anyway. So I will not be renewing that at the end of this month. I will be probably either take a break from having a cable service again, or switch over to back over to Sling, which is like half the price, and I get the East Coast feed for USA. So that's a lot better, but then I can actually watch live. Okay, so anyway, then we have NXT from September 8th. We had the conclusion of the Fatal 4-Way Iron Man match, which was just a regular match between Finn and Adam Cole. And Finn becomes only the third ever there's so many different words there. Finn Balor is the new NXT champion. He won via Super 1916, or like an Avalanche 1916 off the top ropes. He said, "This is why I returned." And then he also got a 2-sweet from Adam Cole in the back. But later on, Adam Cole said, "Hey, you were the better man tonight, but I'm coming after you for it. I'm going to get it back." So I'm looking forward to that rematch, if there ever is one. Robert Stone sneaks in to try to destroy Shotzi's tank, but she arrives just in time before he's going to swing a big lead pipe at it, or whatever he was using. Maybe it was a baseball bat. But Shotzi punches him right in the face, and then Aaliyah comes to his aid and attacks Shotzi, and they go through a curtain and knock over Io. Io is very mad. And Io and Shotzi team up to beat both of them up, Aaliyah and Robert Stone. They make their way out into the ring, and then we get a nice face-to-face between Shotzi and Io, and we're getting that match next week. That is going to be awesome. Then we had Adonis versus Velveteen Dream. Dream won via the Dream Valley Driver, but then Kushida arrives to attack Dream. Then we had Candice and Tegan having dinner with Johnny. Johnny's there too. Johnny's being super obnoxious, and after they agree to get along again, they get into a fight. And he's like, "Hey, you changed. Johnny's changed you. He's made you kind of a bad person." And they argue. Candice tries to throw a TV remote at Tegan, but she gets out of the way, and Candice breaks their TV. It's important for everybody to know Tegan did not break that TV. Candice broke the TV. Candice broke the TV. But it was a pretty good segment, although I thought it seemed like when they were like dumping food on each other and stuff, that Tegan was laughing a bit. But I think that's fine. I think even if you were mad at somebody, you would be laughing if you just poured spaghetti all over somebody. And we had Colossal Bronson Reed with the most amazing Titantron graphics. So cool. I didn't notice if he had those graphics at TakeOver from some of the Twitch viewers. When I was talking about this on stream, they said that he had those for TakeOver, but I didn't notice it until this time. It's great. I love it. And he wins against Austin Theory. Then we have Roderick Strong versus Killian Dane, and Roderick Strong wins that match. And then our main event, steel cage match, Mercedes Martinez versus Rhea Ripley. So much great stuff here. They're both so great, and Rhea Ripley eventually wins the match by putting Mercedes Martinez through a table with a avalanche or super riptide. Incredible. And right before that, Robert Stone gets hung up on the top of the cage, and was there for, he must have been up there for hours. I did ask him on Twitter if he climbed down or if he was removed/rescued by the ring crew, but I did not get a definitive answer there. There's just some really great stuff throughout that match, so go check it out if you haven't already. I did not watch any of NXT UK. It is the last week of the clip show stuff. I'm sure they had some promos hyping up the return of the show next week. But I will definitely be watching next week and have a more extensive or an existent in general recap / review of NXT UK at that time. So there you go. That is everything from this past week. I'm really excited for SmackDown tonight. I'm recording this as SmackDown is airing, but being in the Mountain Time Zone, I am an hour behind, so I still have a half hour before I can watch. But that's it. I'm really excited. This next week I will try to do individual episodes for each day of stuff as I normally do. So stay tuned for that. I hope everybody has a great day, staying safe out there. If you're in the anywhere where the nature is not doing so well, I hope that you're all staying safe. And even if you're in a place where the weather is really nice and the sky isn't full of smoke, I hope you're also being safe for all the other reasons. So let me know what you thought about this episode by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.